CultfiggaTV. I got some late breaking news. The revolutionaries can use. World War 3 alert. World War 3 alert. Y'all know I ain't playing. Be sure to wipe your feet. That means hit the like button. You in the house of revolution. Like, share, subscribe to the platform. I'm the only one available can break this down like this here to y'all and give y'all what y'all need to understand about what's going on. Now, before we get into the topic of the ICC, the International Criminal Court, seeks the arrest warrants for the Hamas leaders, they don't worry about that. They ready to be martyrs. They'll do life on death row for their people. They will trade themselves for Benjamin Netanyahu and his political leadership now. For everybody who said this would never happen, never listen to them again. But for the y'all being a revolution who told you this was coming. Remember I told you this was coming. But also remember I also warned you, if this happened, Joe Biden, Lloyd Austin, and Anthony Blinken absolutely have got to get the same arrest warrants because they absolutely aided and abetted everything Israel did. And every time they committed one of these crimes that the International Criminal Court now say they got proof, the Americans said it wasn't a crime, and they said they stand by Israel. Israel got the right to defend themselves. Joe Biden said more weapons. Lawyers warned them in the beginning. Now it's here, but we're gonna deal with that. Let's rewind to yesterday when the leader of Iran and the foreign minister, because it's out now. They absolutely was killed using that fog machine. Nobody talking about that fog machine, but I've been looking at different sites and people bringing it up. And people saying these countries better learn how to use that fog machine like Israel and America know how to use. That one that created this fog that came out of nowhere. But because it wasn't just the fog. It was absolutely electronic warfare because they only brought down the presidential plane. But that happened yesterday, and today you get this. These are not coincidences. Both these events is earth-shattering, irreversible events. There ain't no going back now that the Israeli leadership, the military, Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of the small hats, he is the absolute head of them. I'm shocked. But it's some maneuvers being made and some games being played. They issued this arrest warrant for two reasons. To put a muzzle on Netanyahu because he done gone crazy. Killing the president of Iran was absolutely nuts. Somebody said issue that. He done went loony. Next he gonna get the supreme leader. And they also wanted to block the movement on the story of the president of Iran. The biggest story supposed to be the president of Iran being killed and the foreign minister and some of the imams on that plane. And how did that take place? But now it's overshadowed by this story.
We are following this breaking news. The International Criminal Court moments ago announced it is seeking arrest warrants for the leaders of Hamas for the October 7th terrorist attack in Israel and also seeking arrest warrants for the political and military leadership of the state.
Now remember, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they never seen no crimes. They just said Israel got the right to defend itself. Now the International Criminal Court is saying no, they have been committing crimes against humanity, Nazi type stuff. Now they got to come break this. Everybody not agreeing with one another. You see infighting going on right now. This is the end of them. In both these events, the murder of the president of Iran did not sit well with a lot of people. Didn't agree with that because a lot of people didn't want World War III. You get World War III behind that type of shit. You know? And when you take out leaders like that in Iran, you could get extremely worse. It can get worse.
Of Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Good. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant.
Good.
Hamas's top political and military leaders also being sought for crimes against humanity. All named just now. CNN's chief international anchor Christiane Amanpour has this exclusive interview with the special prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, Karim Khan, who announced it to her just moments ago, and she's joining us right now from The Hague. Christiane, tell me more. Tell us more about what you've learned.
They don't like this.
Well, Kate, we broke this earlier on CNN some 20 minutes ago. It is an incredibly important turning point in this.
Remember, we don't the news station. There'll be some other ones bringing it up later on, revolutionary ones, that there is no arrest warrants on the leaders of Israel without arrest warrants on Joe Biden, who stood shoulder. He said, I stand shoulder to shoulder with Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu have an arrest warrant. You shoulder to shoulder with that arrest warrant, right? Anthony Blinken came out and said he's not speaking as an American. He's speaking as a Jewish guy. That's what he said on tape. People were shocked. I didn't even. He had missed me. I had didn't get the files on that band. Wasn't who he said he was. They switched them names. He got me blinking. And Lloyd Austin, the bootlicking Greek freak, shoe shining house nigga, the military man, shoulder to shoulder with his military counterpart. So he got to get an arrest warrant too.
Wars since Hamas invaded parts of Israel, slaughtered so many people, took so many hostages, and in the aftermath, since Israel went to war against Hamas and has
now you see what she just did? Hamas slaughtered innocent people. Ma'am, you cannot weigh. You can't put your thumb on the scales anymore. The International Criminal Court. See, they've been doing that reporting, and then what Israel did, Israel went to war. No, International Criminal Court said they slaughtered Palestinians. Starved them like the Nazis. Why you not describing that in the same way you just had that energy for Hamas? It's not. Both of them got arrest warrants now.
So many civilian casualties, and what international officials say starvation and famine also impose. So these form the basis of the ICC charges.
It's a very dangerous time we're in, but we revolutionaries. We done been dealing with danger our whole life. When has it not been a dangerous time? Any one of us can get it walking out our house dealing with the blackface Ku Klux Klan because of the democratic policies here in America. And then we got to deal with the real Ku Klux Klan because of the racist policies here in America. Hell they talking about. So now everybody, the whole world is feeling what we feel, anxiety. The whole world got to watch their back when they leave the house. Good. I like that because we know how to move in a room full of vultures.
Seeking warrants, seeking arrest warrants that will have to be approved by a panel of independent judges here. I am at the ICC based on these things that I told you. And here are the crimes. There are some 8 crimes, charges alleged on both sides, starting with Hamas.
It couldn't have got worse for Joe Biden in a president's election. That's serious business. It couldn't have got worse. Like right now, I have no idea who pulling the strings. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know who pulling the goddamn strings. And that's a big time problem. Who the hell is pulling the strings? Joe Biden is finished. But I have told you this before, when it comes to Israel, and it's on the record, Trump would do no better. There is no political individual in America they all bought and paid for. And nobody in the West who would do no better. And every leader in the West tied themselves to this. That's serious business. Now they got to come out absolutely against the rule of law. And absolutely against any other humanity shit they were talking about. The democracies. Oh, really? Well, what about Israel? Y'all said it was democracy. They charged with heinous war crimes.
Because of the timeline, obviously, October 7th was what Hamas did. Here's what he told me.
Hamas. Shut up. My bitch
We're here at the ICC.
And them Zionist Nazis.
You are today announcing that you are applying for arrest warrants for top military and political leadership.
They put that man in power. They put him in power and they put a arrest warrant on him, man. I don't know who running. I don't know what's going on.
In the Israel-Gaza
war. Netanyahu done went too far. That's what's going on. I do know who running this shit. Y'all excuse me. The small hats is trying to reshuffle the deck. They trying to trade Benjamin Netanyahu to save them they goddamn selves. But they can't. Because it wasn't just Benjamin Netanyahu policies. That is their policies. And remember, 90% of the Israeli public said they agree with everything these people is getting arrested for. And said they want more. 90%. Understand that. You issued arrest warrants for shit the whole population. We got senators. Lindsey Graham came out and said they should nuke Gaza. American politicians agree with them war crimes. Please, this bigger fish to fry. It's only going to get worse.
Since the October 7th events. First and foremost, explain to me exactly what you're asking for and who you are charging.
Today, Cristiano, we've applied for warrants to the pre-trial chamber of the International Criminal Court in relation to 3 individuals that are Hamas members. Sinwar, who's in charge on the ground.
That's Yahya Sinwar.
Absolutely. Dave, who's in charge of the Al-Qasim Brigade. And Hania, who's one of the political bureau based in Doha.
What are the charges?
The charges are extermination, murder, taking of hostages, rape and sexual assault in detention. So these are the key crimes that are alleged to have been committed by these three individuals.
Now, they haven't proved you haven't proved Hamas was raping nobody in detention. See, that they still storing it there to keep them. They was raping. Oh man, whatever.
The world was shocked on the 7th of October when people were ripped from their bedrooms, from their homes, from the different kibbutzim in Israel, and people have suffered enormously, and we have a variety of evidence to support the applications that we've submitted to the judges.
You've also issued
now notice how she let him talk about all disgusting shit that he's saying Hamas did. Notice that.
warrants against the top political and military leadership of the government of the State of Israel.
We've applied for warrants. Of course, the judges must determine whether or not to issue them, but we've applied today, we'll apply for warrants for Prime Minister Netanyahu and also Minister of Defense Gallant for crimes of causing extermination, causing starvation as a method of war, including the denial of humanitarian relief supplies, deliberately targeting civilians in conflict.
What?
So, what you're hearing is the...
Did she just let him finish doing all disgusting shit he's saying Hamas did? But when he went to talking about the crimes Israel did, they fade away. They still trying to put their thumb on the scale. You can't, because we know the crimes. The crimes been listed by South Africa. We know about all the disgusting shit that they did to them Palestinians. Now it's all on document. It's documented. CNN.
The layout of the crimes, so it is crimes against humanity and war crimes. And in addition, the prosecutor has said, just so that everybody understands, that he has issued this request for arrest warrants based on the reasonable belief on grounds that these are criminal offenses that can meet a conviction standard. It's not just reasonable grounds that they could go to trial. This is higher, the standard of conviction based on the evidence that he and his teams have collected so far and that are in the public domain.
They did it in front of everybody. That's what we've been saying. And Joe Biden and Anthony Blinken and all the American press, they wasn't seeing it.
Christian, Sarah here. A couple of things. One, I wanted to ask you just about the unprecedented nature that this is, I think, the first time that a democratic government has been brought under these potential warrants, and how they've gone about gathering evidence.
How can a Jewish state be a democracy and they got millions of people they won't let have the freedom, the rights that they're supposed to have? That's not a democracy. They're a theocracy and a Zionist a Zionist entity. These people is nuts.
Getting into Gaza all things very, very difficult.
So on the first issue, I put that to Prosecutor Karim Khan, obviously, and I said this is the first time that this has happened in a democratic situation.
They're not democratic.
The Israeli side, and he said that is true.
You know what democratic would mean? Is that all the Palestinians and all the Israelis get a chance to vote. That's democratic. But they don't want that. No, this is a Jewish state. You ain't no Zion. You ain't no democratic. But they got to throw that on there to fool people. I mean, they just like us. They just see if you're not democratic, not like us. Democratic like us, man. Please, they war criminals. They definitely like you.
If Israel were to take this up, or had taken it up, the judicial system, when we first warned about this months ago, then they would have jurisdiction. If they choose to do so now, they will have jurisdiction. So that's clear. He said that they have not chosen to do such a thing, even though, as he said to me, and he said it publicly, that when I warned at all these international conferences, when I warned in my face-to-face meetings with Israeli officials that this is the warning, aid is not getting through, starvation is setting in, people are dying, that don't complain if then my office does something about it if you don't. So that's on that issue. And then on the other issue of evidence, part of it is in the public domain. Part of it is what's been reported over and again. Part of it is what's been said. And I'm talking about Israel now. Obviously, we're going to get to the Hamas thing. It's important to know that in the prosecutor's timeline, in his indictment sheet, and you'll see on the press release, they listed the crimes that they are charging Hamas with on October 7th, and we'll get to that in a second. But since you're asking me about the unprecedented nature of a democracy being so charged, they go back to Yoav Gallant, because don't forget, Yoav Gallant, Defense Minister of Israel, has also been charged, and they, among others, see as intent his statement on October the 9th, We are imposing a complete siege. There will be no electricity, no food, no water, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we will act accordingly. Netanyahu, October 13th. We will exact a price that will be remembered by them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come. Now, that's part of it. The other part is all the physical and other testimony by U.S. officials, let's say USAID, by international aid organizations, the UN and all the others, by the very fact that the United States has had to build some pier on the side of Gaza and some countries have had to drop aid in, that the aid, the demand for aid going in is not happening. And this is the basis of the majority of the case against Israel at the moment. That this is, no matter, as you explained, Israel, of course, has the right under any statute to defend itself from attack, but has to protect civilians. And this is something the United States has been calling for from the very beginning.
That's a goddamn lie. America, see how they're trying to do still? No, America aided the mass murder. And she's trying to act like, well, the charges, it really, they didn't let enough food in. That's only a part of the mass murder and slaughter of the Palestinian people. And they told you they was going to do that to the Palestinian people. And America and they fucking press went along with all of that. And every time they mass murder went on and people was gunned down and baby was killed on purpose, they told us Israel had the right to defend themselves.
As well as many, many others of Israel's allies. So they believe that that has not been adhered to, that aid has not gone in, that famine in enough bulk, that famine is there in some parts, and that there have been deaths by starvation and malnutrition related to diseases. Now, and they've had many conversations, the prosecutor tells me, with officials inside Israel on this. Now, on the other side, regarding Hamas,
Hamas don't give a damn. They celebrating. Just get Netanyahu and Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe. He got to go. I told y'all this was coming, and there's more to come. Stay tuned. Cultfig, follow me.